Hi, I'm Matt from KJP Select Hardwoods. We are a woodworking retail store in the Ottawa area, and we ship a lot of lumber online as well. To process all that lumber, we need a shop to do that, and that's what today's video is. We're going to show you the backside of KJP that people don't normally see. Come on, let's go take a look. So we just went through a major renovation to get to this point, and we built this new shop. And one of the things we considered was workflow. So now the lumber is coming from the store into this shop where it gets processed. If it needs a glue up, it goes over to our glue up section, and then we have a sanding and finishing area as well. In the heart of the shop, we have a jointer and a planer, and then this sliding table saw, and that's where most of the work gets done. So let's take a look at those. So here we've got where everything usually starts is on the jointer. This is a Felder A941 16-inch jointer. I think a lot of people at home are used to a 6 or 8-inch jointer. So this is really nice because we can really work with large material, obviously up to 16 inches wide. So really we can work with big slabs and big wide boards and get a nice straight face on them. Next to it, we have a 24-inch Felder planer. Same idea, this thing is industrial. It can take off up to 1/4 inch at a time if you want in a pass. That's a bit chunky for most of the work that we're doing with exotic woods, but it wouldn't have a problem if we needed to do that. Again, really, the benefit is working with really wide boards. Most lunchbox planers, I think that residential people will have are about 13 inches or 12 inches. So this gives us a lot more material to work with. And finally, after that, we're bringing stuff over here to the SCM sliding table saw. And this thing is just a dream to cut and rip boards with. We can also do a lot of panel processing on this as well. And it's got a 14-inch blade on it. So next up, we have 2 large industrial sled routers. These are called a WoodWhiz. They're from Australia. They allow us to do flattening of large slabs or any panel glue-ups that we've done. We can do about 55 inches wide by 11 feet long. We can accommodate a bit longer, but that's really what the machine is meant to do. And it really hogs off a lot of material. So rather than doing a little sled router that you would set up at home, this is a quick and easy way to get those slabs flattened. We also process a lot of lumber for the store, and usually that stuff's going to be a little bit smaller. So for that, we use this lineup of 3 different tools. We've got our hammer jointer here where we'll do an edge and a face. Then we bring it over and do the other face and edge on the Felder planer. That's a 20-inch planer. And then finally we finish on the saw stop. And again, this is just smaller material, so this is a nice little quick way to get those 3 stages all done at once. We also do a ton of glue ups here. So this is what happens in this area here. We've got 2 glue up tables. You can see we've got tons of clamps. You can never have too many clamps. Usually it's just one person gluing up if it's a panel like sort of under 4 by 8, but anything bigger, the 10, 12 foot panels, we'll get 2 guys on it because you've got to get it set and clamped up before the glue sets. Once everything's done here, we of course have to take it over to the sanding room, and that's where we'll head right now. Right before you get to the sanding room, we've got a new King Industrial Radial Arm Saw. So this is a 12-inch blade on it, so we can cut most of our material that we need for the store, either for customers if they just need it broken down to get into the car, or for processing bowl blanks, turning blanks. Usually one of those stages is going to be processing that on these Radial Arm Saws. Okay, and now we're coming into the sanding room. Funny enough, today it's not set up for sanding. We had some free tables, so somebody here is doing some edge banding, but normally we've got 2 guys sanding panels. So whenever a panel is done, often we're gonna sand and finish it for somebody. So we'll bring it over here. We usually have 2 guys sanding. They're gonna take it from an 80 grit, usually up to 220, depending on the job. And then once that's done, if it does require oiling, we go to our finishing room, which is in here. And here's where we bring all the tables in. This room just turns over with different projects. We do all our oiling here. Any epoxy work, it all happens in here. And this is a sort of a dust-free environment, so it's the perfect place to finish a project, and then customers come and pick it up. So that in a nutshell wraps up our KJP Shop Tour. Of course, we've got some tools we didn't show, like drill presses, dust collectors, band saws. We've got some extra table saws that are just there to speed up production. But I think it gives you an idea of how we process the lumber for the store, for our online shipping department, and if you had a customer project or something that we were making for you, this is where we do it. As always, enjoy your woodworking, and if you'd like to see a video of our retail location, you can just click here and take a look. It's pretty exciting.